What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Against the Grain podcast. I am Mike Irvin, and with me is my co-host, Josh Holbrook.
How's it going, everybody? Long time, no podcast, but
Way too long. My fault. I apologize.
hey, it's the way life goes, right?
Yeah, I would have rather been in here with you, Josh. I was on a hot trailer for 16 straight days
Yeah.
out at the beautiful Round Top Fall Antique Show.
Everybody's got to work, though, right?
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, it's a nice little secondary source of income for me, so.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's a break from my normal job, so I like it.
We were kind of like talking about what are we going to get after tonight, and you were mentioning that you were really feeling pretty disconnected from news and from politics, and it actually felt pretty good.
Yeah, man. I try to take it all in most of the time, but lately, and I missed 2 weeks just because I was gone. I had no time. When I had any time, I was prepping food and cooking food and doing all that. Pretty much 20-hour days. But I realized I wasn't as stressed is the wrong word, probably just worked up.
Yeah.
As usual when I'm looking at all that stuff.
Yeah. It can be an overloaded type feeling. But I feel like if I take too long away from looking at what's going on in the world, I feel like I'm just missing the developments. I think the world moves so fast that it seems like if you disconnect for a little bit, it's hard to catch back up to what's been happening.
Yeah. And I definitely felt that way, which probably kept me in that feeling of like, hey, I'm just going to take a step back on the current stuff because I haven't heard any of it or seen much of it at all.
Yeah. The biggest thing that's going on that should be in the news but seems like barely anybody's talking about is this government shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't quite understand, except that for most people, it hasn't really affected them quite yet.
Yeah, that's true. What did I post on Facebook? When it first happened, I was like, hey, can we get them to make this permanent? Asking for a friend. And I'm not ignorant enough to think that we don't need government, but
well, it's a necessary evil is how I always refer to government. But it's just way too big. I think that's something that is consensus for most people, except the people who believe in large government, truly socialistic or communist type government structure, which hopefully people learned the lessons of the 20th century and nobody really thinks that could work.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Our friends up in New York actually might.
Yeah, Zoran Mandani is almost 100% going to win the mayoral race, and he's out there just talking about everything that's going to be free. Do people really think that that's free?
Yeah. But we're going to tax the rich more, so they're just going to move out of New York.
And so when everybody who has any money moves out of New York, how does that stuff continue to be free?
It doesn't. And then it becomes Detroit.
Yeah, I don't ever see New York necessarily going that way, but if Mamdani wins, which he will, and
that just blows my mind, man. Growing up as a young college kid, I was like, oh, I'm not worried, They would never elect a socialist or communist. Yeah. Although they almost did with Bernie, so I don't know.
It's just like people have never taken it to its ultimate end when they're talking about these kind of programs.
Right.
I mean, what's the limiting principle? What is if it's, let's say minimum wage, it's $20 an hour. Well, why not 25 then? Why not 30? Why not 35? Why not take it on up? Where's the limit when you're talking about these kinds of things?
Right.
If buses are free, why not subways free?
Yep.
Hey, why not clothing stores? Why not everything?
Yeah. Some people, when given an inch, will take it way too far.
But as we know, those systems don't work, and they usually end up in mass murder. If you look at all the examples that we've had of truly communistic states. I mean, even your large ones that are still in existence, even Russia and China, they're not really communists anymore. They're authoritarian with markets being involved so that they can keep their economies going. They're just heavily controlled.
Yeah, they still rule with an iron fist, though. It's not like this country.
Yeah. But we got our problems here for sure, because the way we've allowed the capitalist system that we have, which is the best system in my opinion, to run out of control and just become corrupt in all different kinds of areas, leads to problems of its own.
Yeah, especially when it's these politicians that are abusing it.
I think everybody's in agreement that most of the politicians are corrupt. And
Yeah, we have receipts, but nobody does anything about it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. That's what I try to get people to understand whenever I start talking about politics. Because usually when you do, you start talking to somebody and they are wearing a red jersey or a blue jersey, metaphorically speaking.
Right.
And I try to right away go, none of them care about you, right?
Pretty obvious, yeah.
None of them are actually going to do things that are going to make life better for the little people out here that are not millionaires and making all kinds of money. It looks pretty bleak if we continue down this path. I mean, what are the things that kind of come up first for you when you start thinking about corrupt government?
I mean, honestly, lately, everything that was exposed during Doge, and nothing has come of it. I mean, I don't understand how that it's even possible. No one's being held accountable for any of this?
Yeah. That's, Doge was one of the things that actually made me vote for Trump for the first time ever. That, Maha, and the completely ridiculous candidate that was Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't go far enough. We got rid of USAID, which was on the surface, probably 20% of it was good stuff, and the rest was just a slush fund for NGOs and corrupt politicians to just rake in cash, either personally or to their campaigns. And I'm glad we got rid of that. But I think we just need to attack the entire NGO structure when it comes to all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, NGOs are just the way that governments do things that they couldn't do legally.
Right. So why are we allowing it?
Yeah. I mean, we can be very specific about NGOs too if we want to go down that rabbit hole. I mean, Eco Health Alliance was an NGO that the government used to basically start COVID-19, working in concert with the communist Chinese.
Yeah.
That's been proven. Recently, Tucker had a guy on who was working for Eco Health Alliance, and he saw it from the very beginning, realized immediately that it was something that had come from their funding through the Chinese lab, and couldn't believe it when people were going along with the natural theory, because he's an actual expert, a scientist in that, and he's like, there's no way this could have evolved naturally.
And everybody called him crazy, and he lost his job.
Well, he actually wasn't working for them at that point.
No, I know. I'm just
he when that all happened, he moved out to like what's that part of Michigan called that's disconnected out there, up in between the Great Lakes. I don't remember what it's called.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember what it's called, but he moved way out there in the middle of the boonies. Everybody called him crazy when he did it, and then by a year later, people were like, "Can I come visit?" But I think there's a lot of things that are just perking people's irritation and disgust with the government in general, politicians in specific. I think one of them is the multi-tiered system of justice. We've kind of briefly touched on that with some of the Epstein stuff. I mean, not to get too far back down that path, but, you're talking about somebody who's convicted of sex with underage girls and all kinds of stuff around that type of thing, and he got basically no time, was able to just walk, got the most sweetheart deal in the world, and Alex Acosta said it was because he was, quote-unquote, connected to intelligence.
Yeah, which intelligence we're not sure, but...
What happens to a normal person if they run afoul of the law?
Oh, they go to jail for a long time.
Long time.
Even if they are innocent sometimes.
long time. I mean, people at the bottom rung, like people who are, maybe really not doing well and are addicted to substances or alcoholics or anything like that, they get a DUI and then they have something else happen. They get some fines. They get some probation. They're never getting out of that, man. I mean,
yeah,
they're going to be stuck in that loop for a long time.
3 strike states still.
Yeah, and just people like you and me, if either one of us had to defend ourselves in a criminal trial, let's say falsely accused, let's just say, I mean, the lawyer fees would just break us completely.
Yeah.
We'd be bankrupt in no time. I mean, in no time. And so that's the first layer of justice, and basically it's injustice for anybody who doesn't have a lot of money to spend on lawyers.
Right.
But the second layer is rich people they can hire all kinds of lawyers and they can do what they want.
And
So
keep you in court for 20 years.
But they're
and
mostly
you can't afford it, so they'll win.
They're mostly immune to that kind of stuff. But I don't even think that is the top layer of our multi-tiered justice system.
Mm-hmm.
And the Epstein thing points to there being a third more immune layer, the powerful. Because rich does not necessarily mean powerful.
That's a good point.
Connected to government or connected to people who work with government or work in intelligence means you are almost 100% immune unless you do something so ridiculous that you just can't get away with it. And even then, you had the example of the guy who was some Israeli diplomat who came in, got busted for trying to have sex with a minor. The Trump administration let him out and he flew back to Israel.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're connected to governments, you're connected at a high enough level, you're just not going to have to face the penalty of the law. And it's just not okay, man.
No, it's not at all.
So there's the
Especially when the
multi-tiered...
governments are the ones making the rules and controlling the justice system.
So I think that's one thing that just sticks like a thorn in people's sides and gets people really irritated when it comes to government.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think what it's been for me lately is just everyone is so full of crap and it's so obvious. And they just keep feeding us these lies.
When you
they
say
think
everyone,
we're stupid. I'm talking about like everyone on both sides of the political spectrum. All they do is lie to us, and it's so blatantly obvious that they're lying to us. Like this whole government shutdown thing, it's just so stupid. Their reasoning, everything. They obviously don't care about us, you know?
Yeah.
I say we just fire them all, you know? Clean the swamp, man.
I really wish we could. I mean, you said a bunch of things that are kind of swirling around in my mind there as some of the things people are irritated about. With the government shutdown, one of the big things that's going to happen out of that, if we don't take care of it pretty quickly, is that EBT and welfare and all that stuff is going to be gone. You're going to have people who are at the bottom rungs of society who don't get to eat.
Yeah, and that equates to riots.
Yeah,
and
Newsom already just mobilized the National Guard in California to guard the food banks. If that tells you what's coming if we don't get something done. The other thing that's going on with this government shutdown is the fight over the Unaffordable Care Act, Obamacare.
Yeah.
It's if we don't put back the subsidies that they have in place, people's rates for health insurance, monthly premiums are going to double or triple.
Yeah, and who can afford that? They're already astronomical.
It already just kicks my butt. I mean, it just tears my paycheck a new one. Every single biweekly check is just getting hammered by premiums.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mean to say woe is me, but I've been self-employed for, going on 20 years now, and I always have to pay my own health insurance, and it's always harder to get for me because of, at first they didn't want to give it to me because I didn't have a job for a certain amount of time, which is crazy. Because when I first started out, I think we talked about this, in the first 8 years that I did this job as an oil and gas landman, I probably had 10 different jobs, I lost my job pretty much every Christmas.
Yeah, but you're an entrepreneur. You work for yourself.
Right. But I'm just saying, like,
I say that not to downgrade or anything, but like as an insurance company looking at you, you are a business. That's how they should look at you instead of saying,
that's how they should.
Yeah, you were contracted with these 10 different companies. It didn't work out, so you're not insurable.
But if we're talking about Obamacare, that really did put me in the poorhouse. I went from paying $300 something a month for my family to $1,300 a month, which is, that's a mortgage, Yeah. So it's kind of a soft spot for me, honestly.
Yeah, but it is for everybody. That story you told, just about everybody in the nation tells a version of it, because I'm not self-employed, but my rates have more than doubled.
Yeah.
Since 2011. And that was
after Obamacare.
No, I think Obamacare was in 2012.
Oh, right, second term. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
2012,
My fault.
2013 was near the end of his presidency.
Yeah.
But I mean, right after that happened, it was an immediate jump, and then they just kept climbing year after year after year. I think I looked it up. The last 3 years, I think it's been a 7% rise, 7% rise, and a 6% rise in the last 3 years. That's
It's
just
the biggest ripoff on the planet. And I'm really, if they raise them again, I'm done. I'm just going to have a savings account, and I'm going to use it for whatever medical needs I have.
I mean, with fairly healthy families like you and I both, for the most part, have, besides accident-prone boys like you got, it seems like that would be the way to go. I mean, the only thing insurance is good for is catastrophe.
Yeah.
It's a bad place to be as a nation. And again, this is not just me and you. This is everybody except the wealthy have to go through this.
Well, and I'll say it again, shamelessly. You do not have to pay your medical bills. I mean, they cannot put it on your credit score, at least. So,
but we just mentioned the wealthy, right? They're not hurting.
No, they're not.
The stock market is up around all-time highs, and so
I don't think that's going to last, though.
It may not
right now.
It may not. And I don't think it will either. But what I mean when I say that, what I'm referencing is that people who are using money to make more money are still having a heyday, and most of those folks are savvy enough where they're gonna retain some wealth out of that. They're not going to lose everything,
right? And they're going to buy it all when it goes down too.
That's right,
because they don't have to have that money. They don't need it.
So another area that is really bugging people is housing.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to find a house for a decent price where we live.
For you and I, if we had to do it, we probably could. It'd be really tough because you and I are pretty established in what we do. But think about if you were a newly married guy in your mid-20s and you were just getting started in your career. I mean, no bank's going to loan you anything, nothing you want to, and there's almost no houses in that first-time buyer type of range anyway.
Interest rates are astronomical as well.
Yeah.
Although they're coming down a little bit right now, but still high.
Yeah, and the thing that really irritates me about that is that the government could actually do something about that would be productive, and all they would have to do is make it illegal for the major corporations to have to hold less than 1% of their holdings in single-family homes.
Yep.
But at this point, there's no cap. And so your big companies, your big hedge funds, your BlackRock, your State Street, your Vanguard, they come in and they buy entire areas for overmarket value.
Sit on it. Yeah.
And sit on it, or turn the person who was paying a mortgage into a renter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not sustainable, man, and it drives the price of everything up.
Yeah. When
the most important assets are being overvalued on purpose by the most wealthy companies that exist.
Right, and I feel like the American public has completely forgotten that we have the control to not buy. You know what I mean? The only way this is going to change is if people stop buying these things. Like the auto industry, my God. I don't know if you guys have looked at automobile prices right now, but it's, I mean, I wouldn't buy anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of points to the next thing. That one of the things that I've been thinking about is just Americans in general, our government, everybody is addicted to spending.
Yeah.
Overspending.
Just put more on the credit card.
Put more on the credit card. Our government's been doing that since the 70s.
Yeah, they got us hooked.
It's a spend more than you make culture. And that is just not sustainable.
Well, and who else gets bailed out? The insurance companies and the banks.
Banks, people deemed too big to fail. And that's just not the way our system is designed.
We don't get bailed out when we're in financial trouble.
Absolutely not. And I think that's the worst thing in the world that you could do is bail out banks and insurance companies and big corporations when they get in trouble.
Absolutely.
They need to fail. They need to fail just like a household would if they overspent.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just not where we are.
Well, and the bankruptcy laws are crap, too. You have enough money, you can just avoid that and start fresh. Just like our buddy Donald Trump has done many times.
How many times has he declared bankruptcy?
2 that I know of.
Yeah. I know that in the biggest one, because when I was doing my research for 2016, in his biggest bankruptcy, all of the companies that were holding his assets got together with him in a big meeting, and they all decided that the buildings and the assets and everything were more valuable with his name on them, so they didn't want to sell him off. And so what they did is they put him on a tight allowance for him, which was like $400,000 a month.
See, I mean,
Yeah, for him as a tight allowance.
we would never get an option like that.
But what's even crazier than that is how he got in that situation in the first place. Do you remember the Taj Mahal?
Mm-hmm.
The Taj Mahal was a massive casino in New Jersey where he lost his rear end because he tried to make everything so ritzy and glamorous. A casino is a license to print money.
Yeah.
If you fail at that, and people want to call, oh, he's a great businessman.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's a great talker.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I try to tell people. It's like, it is so easy to make money if you have that kind of money. And if you lose all of your money, if you have that kind of money, you are a moron financially. I'm sorry.
and he's done it a couple of times.
I know.
I don't want to talk about him being a great businessman. It never has made sense.
Now, his negotiation skills, I think, are, I wouldn't say stellar, but they're pretty good. You know, he knows how to throw his weight around.
He knows how to use heavy pressure. He certainly does that. I mean, I think he's doing a decent job of that with the tariffs.
But yeah, but what if somebody says, you know, screw you? Which could happen easily.
I mean, China's playing pretty hardball with him on the tariffs as well.
Yeah, but they need us as much as we need them, so I don't see that going anywhere, really.
You know, another place we have just continued to spend and spend and spend and spend on the over 700 military bases we have around the world.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I mean, that is outrageous.
That's a lot.
It's outrageous. And even if we needed to be the world police, which we don't.
America. Sorry.
Which we don't. We have these things called super carriers.
Yeah.
And so if we actually needed to knock off a nation, which we don't, those are the platform by which you do that. The bases are not needed. And so we just maintain this heavy burden of all these military bases around the world. Again, addicted to spending. And that just rolls back to the military-industrial complex, rolls back to the people that make the weapons of war.
Yeah, war is good for the economy, right?
Yeah, supposedly, until it's not. Every empire that has ever fallen apart, every massive empire that's ever fallen apart has done so by being in a perpetual state of war. You're talking Rome. You're talking the Spanish Empire by trying to rule the entire world through boats and guns. And then the British Empire, too. They overspent themselves to death. We're next. I mean, it's not sustainable. And people are
not trying to conquer other countries, though. I think that's
Are we not?
Are we?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Not in a general. I mean, in a general sense, maybe, but
How many governments have we overthrown in the last 50 years?
yeah, but we didn't bring them to us as being part of us, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I don't think you have to bring them to be part of us to say that you're overthrowing their governments. I mean, we've done it in a bunch of the Central American countries over and over again. We've done it in Panama. I know we've done it in Colombia. I know we've done it we did it obviously in Afghanistan and Iraq. We've done it.
Dictators, though, mostly, right?
We've done it in all kinds of places.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily dictators per se. A lot of them have been dictators, but we've installed dictators we like right behind them.
That's fair.
I mean, it's just not. We shouldn't be in the business of going in and changing the leadership of a country to fit what we prefer.
Yeah.
It's expensive. It makes the normal people in those countries hate us. I mean, it's just we are doing so many things on so many.
Makes sense in a military tactical way, like we're talking about.
Maybe in the short run.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yemen is another one. It's just wild how much we've done around the world. And I think one of the reasons that the American people allow this is that the government purposefully, not the government, the parties, the power structure, keeps us focused on stuff that's like lower level thinking that gets our emotions enraged, like the culture war stuff.
Yeah, which social media feeds.
It sure does.
And these doom scrollers just believe it all, man.
Racism.
Yeah.
Trans issues. Abortion. All these kind of things are what get
Hot
people
topic issues,
riled up. They trigger people's emotions to get all in the weeds.
Yeah.
And then when you ask somebody about what's going on with spending, they don't even know. You ask people about this government shutdown, and they're going to give you a very partisan answer, I would guess. If you just ask, like, man on the street,
oh yeah,
hey, who's responsible for the shutdown?
If you're a Democrat, you're going to say the right. If you're Republican, you're going to say the left. For sure.
And we were just talking about that as we got started, and we looked it up. The Democrats have blocked the debate for a continuing resolution 13 times.
They don't care about us, people. Not one bit.
And they're calling it a Republican shutdown. And if you don't know anything,
hilarious.
If you don't know anything about how these things work, you would just look at it and go, well, Republicans control the Senate and they control the House and they got the presidency, so they can just do what they want. It's not true. You need 60 votes to open the debate on the topic.
Is that 2/3 majority?
That's 2/3 in the Senate, yeah.
Yeah.
So if they don't open the debate, here we sit.
Yeah.
And the Democrats want the shutdown because they believe they can blame Republicans for taking away the EBT and the welfare from the poor folk.
Yeah.
And the Republicans want the shutdown because they believe it gives them the ability to just close down any section of the government that they don't agree with. Just do away with it.
Well, there's nothing they can do to open it back up at the moment, right? Democrats have to be on board.
Hard.
Yeah, but the Democrats have to be on board, right?
They do. But one of the things the Democrats are holding out for is the subsidies for Obamacare.
Yeah. Which we need to keep these insurance premiums from going way too high.
As a short-term Band-Aid we need, but we've got to
that's a good point.
We got to do something overall on healthcare. But again, for the most part, the Republicans, they don't care. The people that really keep their party going are not the ones that are going to be affected by the premiums. And in a sense, I think that the Democrats are right. In some sense, they're going to be able to point the finger at the Republicans and just say, you did this.
Yeah.
Even if it was them who wouldn't open the debate on the topics.
Right, but that's the most hypocritical crap I've ever heard in my life.
That's my point, is that they keep us focused on this partisanship. They keep us focused on these culture war issues that are really not the root of the problem. And
they're a bunch of spoiled children, man. And they don't give a crap about us. And it's really starting to take a toll on me. That's why I had to kind of take a break.
That's what leads me to another topic that's very closely related here. Why did Donald Trump become a popular candidate and eventually get elected in 2016? Do you remember?
Are you talking about a certain policy, or are you just talking about why in general?
I'm talking about rhetoric more.
I think it was because he was a breath of fresh air. He was not a politician type. I think that was nice for some people. They just didn't want to hear these regurgitated answers that everyone says.
Fair enough.
I think that's the big reason, honestly.
Let me say a couple of phrases. Drain the swamp.
Drain the swamp. Yeah.
That.
Build the wall. With that in
there you go. That's the second one, right? These are these slogans that you can say.
Yeah. But drain the swamp absolutely needs to happen, and it's sad that he has done nothing to make that happen.
No, he's a super swamp character. And the first administration was even swampier. And I think that there may be some desire by Donald Trump to get rid of some of these deep state actors on one hand. On the other, I don't think he has any idea how to really do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world to just do.
I'm frustrated with that because if a simpleton like me can think of some things that would really take a big whack out of the ability of the nefarious and corrupt actors in our government to just take money, then he should be able to do it with the people that he has around him.
Yeah, you think so.
But I don't think that they really want that, the people that are around him.
Well, and I feel like he thinks that people are going to call him a Nazi or dictator because he's doing that, right? Like, But that, I mean, that I think that might be the reason.
So
I don't know.
so
I'm not
drain the
trying
swamp.
words in Trump's mouth.
There's some simple things that you could do to quote unquote drain the swamp.
Yeah, what you got?
Term limits.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a no-brainer for anyone.
Almost everybody agrees on this. Right, left, middle, doesn't matter if people agree on that.
Except the people that are in there now.
Except the people that would have to vote on doing it.
Yeah.
Another one that I think almost everybody agrees on. Single issue bills.
Absolutely, man.
Okay? If we got them back to doing single issue bills, then you wouldn't have these monstrosities that nobody understands what they're voting on, and you can't hold people accountable because they're like, I had to vote for it because it contained this thing that our district really needed.
It's so intentional.
Absolutely intentional. The other things we kind of mentioned earlier is, I mean, some of the things he could do pretty simply is limit the ability of corporations to own single-family homes. They could heavily influence on the ability for Congress to be able to trade stocks.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer as well, right?
I don't think
I'm going
anybody...
to start following Pelosi. I know I've said that a couple times, but there's an app where you can do that.
Yeah,
you know
it's
about that.
called, but there's an app where you can just... It's called Autopilot, maybe?
I think so.
And
you just make every move that she makes.
Yeah, you just put your money in it, and it does what she does.
Yeah.
And everybody... I think she's, in the last, 3 years, she's up 56%.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you when she's destroying the hedge funds.
Yeah, there's no chance that that's legit, right?
Yeah, because she has insider information. The people, I mean, if people did that in business, in theory, they would go to jail. But that's one of the other things that we could do. We could really get some actual antitrust sentiment going back on in our government. And you know, I'd like to give credit where it's due. Biden, I don't know if it goes all the way back to Obama or not, but they had I think it was a cabinet secretary named Lena Khan who was in charge of antitrust, and she was pretty good, and she was keeping some of these massive mergers from going through. And some of the people around Trump wanted her gone, so he fired her.
Wow.
But antitrust is so needed.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this before, but there's 7 corporations that run everything.
Yeah. I mean, Ian Carroll does some great work on that. If you don't know who Ian Carroll is, he's somebody who likes to investigate things and bring out facts about how all these things work. And when he did an investigation on who actually owns everything, it boils down basically to those 3 that I mentioned earlier: BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. They own just about everything, and they own each other.
And then GE.
What else? They're in that group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's public knowledge. These people are using, I don't mean to call you guys these people, but you're using the internet the wrong way. Don't listen to these short clips. Don't look at them and say, oh, well, there's not anything else to that. Maybe I should look at the whole clip. Just look at the facts, man. They're there. They're not hard to find.
Go against the grain. Dig deeper, man. Yeah, you got to dig deeper.
I reached out to Bad Religion, by the way, guys, and asked them if we could use their song for our podcast. And I got crickets, unfortunately.
I think once they hear it, eventually, I mean, they'll get with the program.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, there's just so many simple, practical things like that that can be done to set us back on a course. My issue is that it seems like even fairly intelligent people want to stick in this false binary between Republicans and Democrats. We don't have to continue to allow them to be in power.
And I feel mostly that's our parents' generation that's holding on to that. And maybe our generation to a certain extent. But, I mean, we don't, obviously. But, I don't know, man. A lot of people that I grew up with are definitely staunch one way or another. It's just the way it is. It's the way we were brought up. Like it or not.
You know what scares me about that?
What's that?
You know, being a student of history, I look back at things like the actual rise of Hitler and how that happened. And Germany had gotten fairly corrupt. And World War One devastated their country. They had a bad treaty with the Versailles Treaty.
Yeah, we kind of put our feet on their throat.
Yeah, we stepped on them completely. And so, for all of the terrible things that Hitler did, and there were many, he was a populist. And populism is rising.
He put food in their babies' mouths,
And populism is
People were
rising
starving. Yeah.
in our country. And people in general, they want to be left alone. They want to have food in their bellies. They want their kids to be safe walking down the street and riding their bikes outside. They want to live a normal life. And there's two things that are happening that are pushing us toward something more authoritarian and scary like that. First is that no matter what Trump does, he is called a Nazi and referred to as Hitler and all of these things. When he's not near that, he's pompous, he's corrupt, but he's not near Hitler. He's not near a fascist.
Yeah, some of y'all didn't read your history books, and it shows.
He's doing too many executive orders and ruling by fiat and not doing what he should do, which is be the executive, take his powers and use them, and then use the bully pulpit to force things through Congress. That's how it should be done.
And carry yourself like an adult.
Well, that's asking a bit much of Mr. Trump. But the second thing is that the Democrats seem to be willing to go completely the other way to the loony bin when it comes to social issues.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it?
And so that will lead to a serious reaction. So if people are going to continue to refer to Trump in ways that are overly accusatory, accusing him of things, fascism, all this stuff that he's not, if and when we get another round of Democratic leadership that pushes us over the edge and the rest of our nation starts to become more like San Francisco and California in general,
Seattle, yeah.
The swing back the other way is going to be vicious.
Yeah.
And if you get somebody who is actually competent and a better speaker than Trump, who has bad intentions, we could be in real trouble. On one hand, we need a real populist who's competent, who can do things. But that kind of power can be dangerous, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I feel like I was very proud of voters when they came out against Kamala, because I feel like anyone with a brain was just like, okay, this is extreme. This is stupid. I'm not stupid. I don't like Trump, but I'm going to vote for Trump. You know what I mean?
Which is incompetent, clearly.
Exactly, man. And I think people are smart enough that if it's just a figurehead, just a good speaker, good-looking person or whatever, that they're going to vote against that. Just that.
You would think
base
so.
level, I hope.
Let me say something to counter that. Mamdani. He's charismatic. He's talking about giving poor people what they want.
Yeah. But we're talking about a blue state for how many years?
I guess that's true.
Forever. So I don't think it'll ever change. So those people they've already made their vote. And that third party candidate is kind of screwing that vote up. But, you gotta let him run. I wish he got all the...
Yeah. Or is that guy the Republican? That name it.
Right, he's the Republican. Cuomo's the third party, right?
Cuomo's a Democrat too.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Curtis Sliwa. That's
Sliwa, yeah.
That's who it is. Yeah, I'm just worried that the pendulum swings, because we're so out of whack, that the pendulum swings are going to get wilder and wilder. I mean, because you've already seen, from what happened on the border, from what was happening with guys and girls locker rooms, from what was happening with crime, this wild swing back that people took toward Trump. And, there's the true believers, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about your middle-of-the-road swing voter type people.
Yeah, anyone that was on the fence.
Those people are the ones that are going to make those wild swings. And if Trump goes too far, which I think he has in many ways when it comes to the immigration thing, because like we've talked about previously, we want criminals gone. Most people want criminals gone. But people who've come here, been here for 20 years, when we've had a terrible immigration system, came here, worked hard, made a life, those are not people we need deported.
Right.
Masked agents grabbing people on the streets, you're just doing it for effect at that point.
Yeah, so what's the point? Extremism is bad everywhere. If you take things too far, it's not good.
Well, and another area where Trump has fallen off really bad and gone against his campaign promises is on the international front.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's going on in Venezuela. I mean, he says ridiculous stuff like these boats that they're blowing up extrajudicially and unconstitutionally with no proof that they have drugs on them are headed for America.
Yeah.
Those speedboats would have to refill 6 times to get here.
That's a good point.
We have no proof that there's drugs on them. And then we know where the fentanyl's coming from. Through Mexico via China. That's where it's coming from. China's exporting it. The cartels are bringing it into the country.
The worst drug known to man.
It's the worst one. But even if you go to something that's a little bit closer to home with Venezuela, cocaine, that's not where the cocaine comes from. You know where it comes from.
Colombia, mostly, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That 100% pure Colombian. That's what everybody knows Colombia for, is the production of cocaine. That's, speaking of another country, we've overthrown the government several times there.
Ran by cartels, though. I mean...
They have been. Historically, they have a left-wing government in there now.
Yeah.
One that we oppose. It's kind of interesting. All those right-wing governments that we were actually in favor of were helping out the drug rate. But what does Venezuela have to do with drugs? Trump is openly calling them narco-terrorists, saying that every boat we blow up saves 25,000. Is he saying 25,000 or 250,000 American lives? I think it's 25,000. Each boat, 25,000 American lives, or you're saving by blowing up those boats that don't have drugs on them anyway. And if they do, they're headed for the Bahamas. They're headed for the Dominican Republic. They're headed for any of those countries out in the Caribbean. They can't even get to the United States on those boats.
It's just so childish, man. I don't get it. It's almost said something. It's a chest beating competition, right?
But people are eating it up.
Yeah, some.
You don't even question.
Some people are just wired that way, Hey, he told the little South American country that we're going to kick their butt.
Yeah. And openly, Maduro has offered minerals, oil, all of this stuff. And Trump's response said this, actually. Yeah, that's because he doesn't want to F with the United States.
Yeah. F around and find out is what he said, right?
Yeah, he doesn't want to F around with the United States is pretty much what he said. I mean, what the heck, man? Take it. Negotiate. Bring him under our control in a diplomatic way. But no, he says, we've got the sea under control, and then we're looking at doing the land. It's like...
Yeah. He is a bully. And, I don't know about you, but nobody I ever knew liked bullies.
No. Okay, and so Trump's talked about international conflict a bunch and how he was going to bring a lot of those to the close. Going to end the Ukraine war on day one. That didn't happen. He was going to do something about what was going on in Israel and Palestine. And, for now we have a fragile truce that Israel's going to blow up any day, if you ask me.
Yeah, but, you have to give him some credit there. He really has tried.
He's tried, but I think that the you could bring Israel to heel. You could, with just cut off their funding. They get all of their funding from us. Years ago, they were fairly independent and could do what they want. Now that is not the case. They need our weapons.
But how do you think Israel would react to that?
Don't care.
I agree, but some might care.
I don't.
I agree completely, but
they have to stop. I mean, during this ceasefire, they've gone from killing around 70 to 100 Palestinians per day to down to the low teens. They've still been dropping bombs. And we've talked about insurgent math before. You can't bomb insurgencies out of existence. Insurgent math goes the other direction. For each one you kill, 15, 20 more pop up.
Yeah. Well, and that begs the question, too, is why hasn't Trump turned his back on Israel? They've denied him every chance they've been given. You know?
I don't know, man. I'm just not one of those people that buys the whole "it's the Jews and the Jews run the world" type of conspiracy. But
no, I'm not either. But I mean, they've blatantly just laughed at what he's proposed almost every time he's made them do something.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, they do these things that are going against what we say or what Trump says or what's going on. Like they bombed the Hamas meeting in Qatar.
Which is the scummiest thing ever. You offer peace and then you bomb them.
Yeah. Well, what Trump did after that was kind of a tough move. He made Benjamin Netanyahu call and apologize to the Qatari government while he was sitting in the Oval Office with Trump sitting right next to him.
Okay, I must have missed that.
Yeah, it's kind of a power play.
Okay.
So, I mean, there are things, but, I mean, there have to be consequences when they go directly against the peace process and they continue to bomb and they continue to say things. They just took a vote in the Knesset the other day. They say it was symbolic, but they took a vote and they said that they're definitely going to annex the West Bank. Symbolic, maybe, but those symbolic things turn into actual things later. I just saw a report the other day from an American journalist who was almost killed by a mob of Jewish settlers in the West Bank when they were trying to run Palestinians off from trying to harvest their olives.
Oh, wow.
That kind of stuff happens in the West Bank all the time. And the IDF always backs the settlers. So it's just, there's so much going on there. I don't want to get bogged down in Israel. We could really do that pretty easily, but we're talking...
Right. But I mean, these people have settled the place. Somebody's trying to steal my olives. I'd probably be upset too.
No. That's in the West Bank. This Palestinian area, man. We're talking about the Palestinians are trying to harvest their own olives.
Yeah.
And
I see. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so in this one journalist I'm talking about, they went to the IDF to try to get some help. And the IDF basically set an ambush for the settlers to come after those guys.
Jeez.
It's messed up, man. The situation in the West Bank is super messed up. But again, not to get drawn in there, but we got Israel, we got Ukraine. Those are not going so well. I mean, yes, Trump deserves some credit. I need him. Would really hope that he toes the line there and finishes what he starts there in Israel.
You look at Ukraine and Russia, though. I mean, that's not anything. I mean, that could have been settled easily if it weren't for two opposing sides trying to flex, right?
I'm not saying that he should have been able to solve it so easily, but his rhetoric was, I'm solving it as soon as I'm elected in one day.
That's his problem. He's got all this hyperbole, and he constantly puts his foot in his mouth. If he would just take some time to think about it, which he doesn't ever, that's fine.
Okay, so Ukraine, Gaza, Israel, Venezuela is on the horizon. Still bombing Yemen from time to time and the Houthis. We still have troops and actions going on in Somalia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem, man. He's not come out as the peace president that he was saying that he was going to be is the point that I was trying to make overall.
Yeah, no, I agree. So he definitely just promises too much, and I think everybody is expecting him to make good on those promises, and he obviously has not.
Yeah.
Especially with the important ones for me. You know, drain the swamp being the biggest, probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was a breath of fresh air to me. You know, he actually said what he meant.
Yeah. I get it.
And tried to do what he said. Even though the House and the Senate have fought him tooth and nail over just about everything, both of his terms. So, I don't know.
Yeah, we just keep getting stuck with these terrible candidates, though, is my overall point. I mean, there was no choice this time around. There was no viable third-party candidate. When I was going to vote for Kennedy until he joined the Trump team. And so Doge and Maha were two of the things that really pulled me into voting for Trump. I'm super happy about what's going on that side of things, I will say. So I've ragged on Trump some now. Let's give him credit. He is allowing Bobby Kennedy to do his thing.
Yeah.
It takes time. It's not as fast as I would like, but he's really doing some good work, I believe, in health and human services. And just in case there's people out there that are thinking I'm some kind of a Democrat, let's hack on them for a bit. I mean, what possible candidates, like we've kind of talked about before, could they possibly run in 2028?
Looks like they're going to try to run Newsom, which I think is not smart.
Oh, Newsom. Please run Newsom. Please run Newsom. I mean,
at least he thinks he's going to run.
He sure does. But I mean, who else? For real? AOC?
Yeah, they got a better shot with Newsom for sure.
Hakeem Jeffries?
Yeah.
Do you even know who that is?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, like lots of people wouldn't, but
I don't really know his policies, but I don't...
He's the House Minority Leader.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know.
It's terrible. That's what I mean. Is these are people in positions of power.
Yeah.
It's equivalent to what Nancy Pelosi was. But nobody even knows who the guy is.
Yeah, it's like they keep him hidden until it's time. It's weird.
Well, I think that one specific to him and several of the others, Cory Booker, it's just complete lack of political talent.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get people excited. You're not talking about real issues. You're not working on some of these things.
Kamala Harris 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, I heard somebody float the other day they should run Kamala Harris with AOC as the vice.
Oh, please do.
Oh, goodness. I can't even believe that people have those kind of thoughts.
Yeah.
Tim.
No, I'm actually really glad that Trump's not going to have another term. If I can just go ahead and put it out there. But
Steve Bannon is out there saying that Trump is going to be the president in 2028 again.
Well, if that happens, there will be riots in the streets everywhere.
We've had some riots. We've had some riots.
Yeah. No, I know, but I mean, it's... Nobody's going to just accept that, I don't think. Although the Democrats did just let someone run for president that they didn't elect. So, who knows?
Yeah, as we've kind of mentioned before, they've not had a real primary since Obama.
Yeah.
So we are just in a bad way. And I mean, this is...
Yeah, but I mean, if the standing president thinks he can extend the amount of terms that a president can have, though, I think that's a declaration right there.
They're looking at legal ways to do it.
I will not support that.
They're looking at legal technicalities to find some way to do it. I wouldn't support it either. Besides the fact that I just don't think he's good for our country overall.
Yeah,
dude's at that point going to be 85 years old.
Yeah, good point. And he would not get elected easier than a J.D. Vance in any world.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about J.D. Vance's chances.
I think they're much better than Trump coming up.
Yeah, I think that's me and you, though, thinking that... I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Trump has, like we were talking about with political skill, Mamdani has it, whether you like his politics or not. He's good at being in the moment. He's good at playing to the crowd.
Kissing babies.
Yeah, and just there's in the moment, sometimes you got to be able to have these comebacks. You got to be able to say the right thing. You got to be able to come off with charisma. You got to be able to speak for at lengths of time and sound intelligent. That's
Vance is the sharpest guy I've seen in that capacity.
I just don't know.
You know what's funny too is I saw on a couple instances where the extreme left is trying to paint him like they compare him to Newsom, his family to Newsom's family, and how Newsom is, the white family that is the traditional family. But J.D. Vance married a foreigner and has multicolored kids. And
Yeah.
I just thought that was the most hypocritical,
That's ridiculous.
ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I wouldn't even venture down that path. If I'm gonna take my strikes at JD Vance, it's going to be because he's a part of what people have referred to as the PayPal mafia. I mean, he is right in there with Peter Thiel, and Peter Thiel's been like the fuel behind JD Vance's political career. I don't trust Peter Thiel. I don't trust his products. I don't trust Palantir. And so there's just some big moneyed elites that want a security state that JD Vance is a little bit too close to for my liking.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not into the pre-crime, the notions of pre-crime. I mean, if you ever seen Minority Report.
Oh, yeah. Read the book, too.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Palantir is looking at.
Yeah. It's crazy how close we are to these dystopian books from our childhood.
Yeah. With the rise of AI, I mean, thinking about the Terminator or many other versions of it. I mean, it's
Blade Runner.
All kinds of bad. If we outsource our thinking to computers, it's not good.
Yeah. Well, and for those who don't know what Minority Report is about, it's about these AI beings that see the future, and the cops try to stop crimes before they happen in real time. So you could get arrested for a crime that you technically did not commit, but were about to commit. Pretty cool concept.
And the movie wasn't it like psychics that were infused with AI or some weirdness like that?
I think so.
Because I never read the book.
Or maybe they were just psychics that, I don't know, the technology's super advanced.
There was some super tech that was like tied to these psychic twin girls or something like that.
And their mother, yeah.
Wild, weird.
Cool movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, but I mean, watching that movie would...
It's alarming, yeah.
Would put a spin on the idea of pre-crime for you that is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. And throughout that film, wherever you go, there's a camera that could scan your eyeball. So people were taking out their eyes to where they couldn't be scanned.
Oh, yeah, in the slums.
Yeah.
And there was like eye transplant places.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so I mean, but you think about it, it doesn't take that long to get us to where we're transplanting our eyes.
Yeah, totally dystopian. But I mean, if you think about a surveillance state that's that pervasive, it's not that far-fetched.
And Britain's pretty close. They got cameras everywhere, man. They don't have scans, but...
Do you know how many people a year are arrested for social media posts in Britain?
It is disturbing.
Like 20,000.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. But how do you justify that? I mean, and their immigration problems are worse than ours.
Yeah.
By far.
A lot worse.
Same thing with France. Same thing with Scotland, Ireland. Those people are rising up.
Yeah,
they're about to overthrow their government.
Finally.
Yeah.
And it's about time.
Yeah, I look at all this and I question how we got this far. It's negligence is what it is.
Or intentional sabotage.
Yeah. These politicians wanted these people to come in so they could get their vote, which is insane to me that someone who's not a citizen of this country could vote. But what do I know?
Well, I didn't believe it when somebody told me about it, but then I went and looking for it, and I found a UN plan for migration of Northern Africa and the Middle East to Europe. So the UN has long had this plan.
Wow.
Of moving people out of those poor nations and into Europe to, some basis of compassion for the people who don't have as much.
But they're basically sabotaging the countries.
Well, it's just the cultures don't mesh, man.
Well, a lot of them are actively calling for like the overthrow of the governments of those countries.
Yeah.
I think they're being paid to do it.
Back in the mid 2010s, there was the first rumblings in the UK of entire areas in Britain that were just no-go for white people because they had become completely Muslim enclaves. There's an organization that was really vilified as being racist called the ADL. Or EDL, I'm not sure which was. I think English Defense League, maybe. And so they would go around and they would try to talk to people in these Muslim areas about like being British and what it meant to be British, and they would get a crowd right away, and it would become hostile. And the police would always come and arrest the Britons.
That's crazy. And I saw someone, I think it was a Prime Minister of England, came out and said, like, hey, if these people are not contributing positively to our culture, to our country, why do we want them here? And I mean, I don't know how you argue against that.
Yeah. And that pendulum swing I was talking about is really happening in Europe, like you talked about. There's a lot of really right-wing populism happening in Europe right now.
Yeah. It started with Brexit.
It's getting worse under the movements that are going on right now. And I shouldn't say worse, but it's getting more intense. Another one is the
nationalism is strong.
Another one is
not necessarily a bad thing, right? But in the wrong hands, it is.
Another one is Germany and the party called the AfD, which has pretty much been outlawed. But you'll see Elon Musk talking about supporting the AfD on Twitter a lot. They try to say they're Nazis, but they're really what they are is they're a party that is supporting of Germany for Germans.
Yeah, nationalism.
Same kind of thing in France.
Mm-hmm.
Marine Le Pen is the lady who's in charge of what they call ultra right-wing nationalist party. I mean, those are just labels.
Right.
But, I mean, she's gone from getting 3 and 5% of the vote to getting 20% of the vote recently, and they basically tried to outlaw her from being able to run.
As the French would.
Right.
Have you seen Paris, though, lately?
I've seen some, yeah.
It's a slum. It's terrible. These people are they come in, they don't have anywhere to live, they set up their knick-knack wares on the Seine, and it's just terrible, man. They attack people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, I'm sorry. I mean, I've got an open heart for a lot of people, but if you're going to attack me and you're going to bring my country down, I don't want you in my country.
Yeah. The rule of law is underrated.
Yeah.
So, man, we've covered a ton of ground on a ton of different topics.
Yes, we have.
But I think it's just something that the underlying dissatisfaction with politicians is something that everybody ought to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I think the word I would use is exhaustion.
Yeah.
Of expecting it to get better, and it just does not. I'm let down over and over and over again.
I want to encourage people. I always try to find the positive by the time we get to the end because we sit here and we talk about problems, but I want to encourage people to talk to people who you know that disagree with you politically, that are willing to talk in good faith. I try this a lot. I end up talking to people that I disagree with who are not willing to operate in good faith. They what about all of the issues. If you ever get to a point of trying to find some common ground, they go, well, what about this other thing over here, and distract the conversation. But the thing to keep in mind is these people who think differently than you and I do politically, they're our neighbors. They're probably mostly good people. They have different ideas on things. But just we should be trying to engage people who think differently rather than castigate them as those people or the enemies or our opponents.
Yeah, you can't overgeneralize any group of people.
Talk to people. Strike up a conversation. See where the differences actually are. It helps people think. It helps you and I think to figure out where the actual differences lie.
Yeah, and most of us are a lot more similar than you think. Most of us want to protect our families and our way of life. Just reach out, talk to people, man. It's not that hard. Yeah. And I realize a lot of people clash back, but we got to keep that narrative going. Got to keep the conversation going.
Yep. It's one of the things we're doing here. You're going to start to see some interviews pop up. Both Mike and I want to do some interviews of interesting people. It might be both of us together. It might be one of us interviewing somebody. Less than interviews. It's more just conversations with interesting people. So you might be seeing some of those pop up soon. Again, if you like the content, please like our channel, share and subscribe. Tell a friend it's worth listening to, and pass it along. We would definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for listening. It means a lot to us. And like Josh said, please let us know what you think. We'd really like to know.
And even if you don't like it, we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, give us some constructive criticism. We're here for it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. This has been the Against the Grain podcast. Thanks for tuning in.